Hello, yogis. Today we are going to work on a really nice, gentle flow that should provide a bit of relief for your back if you're feeling any tightness, tension, or even pain. So I'm going to use some props today. If you have props, go ahead and grab them. I'll be using a bolster and blocks. You don't need to have props to do this flow. You could do it just with some couch cushions as well if you want to have a little bit of support. But using props can help us release a little bit more, relax a little bit more, and get a little bit deeper into our poses. So go ahead and grab your props if you want to use them, and meet me back on that. So we're going to start off with our heart over a block. There are a couple options for how you can approach this posture. So I'm going to do it with 2 blocks. You can either come a bit higher with a block on the second level under your shoulder blades and a block on the highest level under your head. Or you can come a little bit lower with your blocks in a T. In this case, the bottom block will be between your shoulder blades. If you don't want to use blocks for this, you can also use a big pillow or a bolster. If you use a bolster, you'll bring the bolster to your sacrum and then lie down over the bolster like this. Like I said, I'm going to use blocks. Grab whatever prop you think will feel best for you today and go ahead and get comfy. We're going to stay here for a minute or so, just starting to relax into our practice today, allowing the heart space to open and sending some breath into our back body, releasing. You can have the soles of your feet together in reclined butterfly like I have right now, or you can extend your legs long on the mat. Play around with it and see what gives you the most length in your low back. And allow your arms to fall to the sides with your palms up, which will allow your heart space to open. Go ahead and press your forearms into the mat. Lift yourself up just enough to move your props out of the way, and then come to lie back flat on your back. This is going to allow the spine to lengthen and readjust after the small back bend we were just in. Go ahead and bring your hands to your belly, and let's take a few breaths, breathing into the low belly, expanding the belly towards the ceiling on your inhale, and drawing your navel towards your spine on the exhale. This is actually quite a relaxing breath, but it's also a really good stretch for your lower back. Let's inhale, pressing the belly towards the ceiling. Exhale, drawing the navel towards the spine. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully. Let's take 2 more just like that. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Just roll over onto one side and then use your arms to press yourself up to seated. So breathing deep into the low belly like that, as I said, it's a really good stretch for your lower back. This is a really nice breath to practice when you first wake up in the morning, especially if you ever wake up with back pain. So just put that one in your toolkit and use it when you need it in the future. We're going to come into a tabletop. Check in with your alignment in your tabletop. Your hands are directly under your shoulders. Your knees are directly under your hips. If you have any discomfort in your knees, you can double up your mat or bring a blanket under your knees to just provide a little bit more cushion. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your tailbone, melt your heart forward, gaze up. And exhale, rounding the spine, pressing out between the shoulder blades. Inhale, melting the heart forward, thinking about creating space across your collarbone as you draw your shoulder blades together. And exhale, press out between your shoulder blades, really stretching those muscles. Drop the head. Inhale, melt the heart forward. Exhale, round the spine. Really think about your shoulder mobility here. So on your next inhale, bring your shoulder blades together. And on your exhale, press them apart. Let's take one more. Inhale, coming forward. And exhale, rounding the spine. We're going to come into just a really brief down dog to transition to our next pose. So walk your hands forward just a bit to lengthen your stance. Spread your fingertips wide and press into the mat with the base knuckle of your index finger. Tuck your toes, inhale here. And exhale, heart towards your thighs, coming into downward dog. Now I'm going to use a bolster here to come into a supported pigeon. So if you'd like to use a bolster, go ahead and bring it to your mat. The front end of the bolster is behind your right wrist. Inhale, sweep your right toes up. Exhale, right knee comes behind the right wrist. Thigh crosses the bolster. Calf is against the front edge of the bolster. Tent your fingertips. Inhale, lengthening your spine, melting your heart forward like you would in cow pose. Exhale, bend your elbows, folding forward. Inhale, lengthening the spine. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. And this time we're going to exhale, fold, and we're going to stay in this pose for a few breaths. So maybe walk your hands out overhead. Bring your forehead to the mat or to the backs of your hands and relax into this posture. next inhale, begin to walk your hands back in towards your body. I just want to make a little note about alignment and pigeon pose right here. When I first started practicing yoga, I found pigeon pose incredibly frustrating because I felt like I was either sort of rocking onto my right hip or my right hip was super high and I couldn't really relax into the posture and really get all the benefits of the stretch. So this is one of the reasons that I really like to practice a supported pigeon pose. And I would really recommend it unless you have, just massive hip flexibility and really open hips, because having the support of the bolster can really help you to relax more into the posture, which over time will yield greater benefits in terms of your flexibility. So let's go ahead and press the palms into the mat, gripping with the fingertips. Inhale here. Exhale, tuck your toes, press back into downward dog. And if you're using a bolster, go ahead and switch the direction so the front end is behind your left wrist. Inhale, sweep the left toes up. Exhale, left knee comes to left wrist. Left thigh is coming across the bolster. Your calf is right next to the front edge. Extend your right leg behind you. Tent your fingertips. Inhale, lengthen the spine, melting the heart forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. And one more time, inhale to lengthen. And on your exhale, let's walk the hands forward, relaxing into our nice, comfy, supported pigeon pose. Inhale, begin to walk your hands back in towards your body. Pigeon pose is really nice if you have tight hips. It's also a really good release if you have any sciatic pain. So it's a great posture for tightness in your hips and also tightness in your back. Press your palms and fingertips into the mat. Inhale here. Exhale, tuck your right toes, press back into downward facing dog. Go ahead and move your bolster out of the way. And on your next inhale, let's begin to walk the feet to the top of the mat. Just slowly and gently. Hanging here in a forward fold. Let's keep a nice bend in the knees here because we're really focusing on releasing the back instead of bringing a deep stretch into the hamstrings. So keep a nice bend in your knees so that your belly can come to your thighs. Grab opposite elbows and let's hang. Releasing the neck. Maybe swaying a little bit side to side if it feels good. Release the arms. On an inhale, let's Come into a flat back, again melting the heart forward, just like you're in cow pose. And exhale to fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. One more time, inhale, flat back. And exhale, fold. On your next inhale, begin to roll up to standing really, really slowly and intentionally, stacking one vertebra on top of the other. Rolling out your shoulders when you get to the top. All right, from here, let's step wide. And we're going to come into a wide leg forward fold, but it's really important to come in with correct alignment. So think about having your toes pointed in slightly. So we're not coming in with our toes pointing out to the sides. We're coming in with our toes pointed in slightly. Bring your hands to your hips. Take an inhale to lengthen the spine. And on your exhale, begin to fold forward. But think about bringing your weight into your toes instead of having your weight in your heels. So you're not sending your hips back the way you would in a standard forward fold. So bringing your weight forward into your toes. Once you're in your forward fold, you can go ahead and bring your palms to the mat if you can reach. And if you feel really comfortable here and you want to deepen your fold, you can begin to walk your hands back between your legs. I find personally that keeping my fingertips pointing forward helps keep my heart open in this pose. I see a lot of people point their fingers back and try to pull themselves deeper, but I think that you can lose the integrity of the posture if you begin to do that. Go ahead and bring your hands to your hips, and on an inhale, rise up. Bring your feet about mat width distance apart. Your toes can be pointing out. Hands come to heart center. Inhale here to lengthen the spine. And exhale, drop down into Malasana or yoga squat. Adjust your feet here, get comfortable. If you find this posture super challenging, you are always welcome to roll up a blanket or another mat and bring it under your heels. Or you can even bring a block under your sits bones and get used to being in this deep squat with a little bit more support. But if you feel good in Malasana, then let's just hang here for a few breaths. I actually really like to sway in this pose, kind of feel into my hips a little bit. This is a really nice hip stretch and also a really nice release for your lower back, kind of similar to pigeon. So take any small movements that feel good here. And then let's come to stillness for a few breaths, allowing the eyes to close. Keeping the back long, the neck long, the shoulders away from the ears. And let's bring our hands behind our backs and make our way into seated. If you find it difficult to keep your spine long in seated, it's just fine to bring a rolled up blanket under your sits bones or even a block or a pillow. just to give yourself a little bit of height. It helps bring your knees down, elongate your spine. I'm just going to take a really nice, gentle seated twist here. I'm going to turn to the side so that you can check your alignment against mine. Bring your hands to your knees. Inhale, lengthening your spine, shoulders away from your ears. And on your exhale, bring your left hand to your right knee and your right hand behind you. You do not want your right hand right behind your hips. You want to bring it a little bit further behind you. This gives you a chance to really find length in your spine. On your inhale, lengthen, drawing the crown of your head towards the ceiling. On your exhale, drawing your belly in towards your spine, twist a little deeper, beginning to allow your neck to follow, bringing your gaze over your right shoulder. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, twist. Inhale, coming back to center, lengthen the spine. Exhale, right hand to left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, lengthening the spine. Exhale to twist, allowing your neck to follow. Gaze is over the left shoulder. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. On your inhale, let's come back to center. And if you are using blocks, go ahead and grab a block and make your way down to lie on your back. I'm going to walk your heels in towards your seat, lining up for bridge pose. So your feet are about hip width distance apart, in line with your sits bones. You maybe can brush the backs of your heels with your fingertips. And go ahead and tuck your tailbone here. So you're bringing your low back flush against the mat. Take an inhale here. And exhale, send your hips up, coming into just a gentle bridge pose, not pushing too hard here. And then if you're using props and you want to take a supported bridge, go ahead and tuck your block on the first or second level underneath your sacrum. The nice thing about using blocks for a supported bridge is you get a chance to kind of play around and see what helps you find the most length in your spine. I know some people who have really tight hip flexors that might cause some of their back pain, might enjoy extending their legs long and really opening the front body. People who have a lot of tightness in the lower back might want to keep their knees bent, or even sweep their legs up, coming into really nice gentle inversion, finding some length in the lower spine here. Maybe taking some variations, opening the legs out to the sides, or keeping one leg extended and dropping the other, which simultaneously opens the low back, but also the hip flexor of the extended leg. So play around here, find what feels good. If you are in a bridge pose with no block, you are welcome to come out of it whenever it stops feeling good. Let's take one more inhale here. And on the the exhale, lift your hips just a little bit to remove the block, and then roll gently back down onto the mat. Again, bringing the lower back flat against the mat, so you're maybe tilting your pelvis just a little bit, tucking the tailbone. And let's slide the hips to the right side of the mat. We're going to stack the knees instead of crossing the legs, because we're just going to come into a very gentle recline twist here. So stacking the knees, allow the knees to fall to the left side. Gaze comes over the right shoulder. You have the option to extend the arms into a T if that feels good, or just keep them in cactus arms. But ideally you want to have both shoulder blades flat on the mat. Let's stay here for a couple of breaths. Inhale, coming back to center. Slide the hips to the left side, stacking the knees. Exhale, twisting, allowing the knees to fall to the right. And gaze comes over the left shoulder. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, drawing the knees in towards the chest. Your Apanasana, maybe rocking it out, massaging the lower back. Take one more deep inhale here. And on your exhale, come to lie in Shavasana. You can extend your legs long, or you can bring the soles of your feet together for Supta Baddha Konasana. Or you can even bring a bolster underneath your knees with the soles of your feet together. I find this is really nice to release any tension in the lower back. I like to do this before I go to sleep at night. Allow the palms to face upward as the arms fall to the sides. And let's take 5 really nice deep breaths here. And inhale, sweep your arms overhead, extending your legs nice and long, pointing the toes. And exhale, come to lie on one side. Use the arms to press yourself up to seated. It's nice to come out of Shavasana really gently so that we don't shock the spine. So it's really good to roll onto one side and then use your arms to press yourself up. It's a bit more gentle for your back. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me. I hope your back is feeling a little bit looser and a little more comfortable, and that you're feeling a bit de-stressed and peaceful. And I hope to see you on the mat again soon. Namaste.